It's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more the Somnium Files, and we are just getting to Matsushita Diner, where we left off. So, yeah. Anyway, the place was silent. I'm not looking forward to this. It was so quiet I felt like I could hear the floating dust. I stepped inside. I thought it was empty, but I saw a shadow in the corner of my eye. Aw, it was Mayumi. It was like watching a decaying old tree cling pathetically to the earth. Oh, that's so harsh. Oh, this is sad. Like, Ota was a jackass, but like, poor Mayumi. No table, all the condiments, the menu. Okay, the disposable chopsticks. I'm sorry, I'm not reading everything because, like, gears have stopped turning on the clock. It's November, but the calendar says January. Date's wrong. That's old. I mean, all of this is basically the same, but you know we gotta click it all. It says good luck. Lucky cat. Nothing but a window. Beer ad on the wall. Yeah. Oh, she's holding the family portrait. Swinging door. Menus written on the wall. Kitchen. I doubt there's going to be any kind of like every time else we always have like random little like goofy conversations, but I doubt we're going to have like goofy things here. It's an autograph, probably from a celebrity. Okay, and that's this. Oh, we can click on the chair. Round chair, kid's seat. Oh, table. Oh, whoops, I didn't mean to click on it twice, and that's all we can do. Okay. Oh. She's looking at photographs in her hand. We'll go this way because things are going to pop up. I'm sorry to interrupt. About Ota. Do you want to talk about it?
This is your fault. I heard from the police.
Oh, ouch.
Because you didn't take care of Iris.
Yeah, but like, no. Like, Iris was a conniving bitch and conned me into going to Marble, and then your son tased me, bro. Like, that's why this happened. But yeah, I shouldn't have listened to Iris. I should have been like, no, bitch! And not gone. But your son also shouldn't have been such a fucking simp that he'd tase a cop and then maybe he wouldn't be... I'm just saying, like, we're all a little bit to blame, okay? It's enough blame to go around on this train, alright?
My boy Ota got involved.
He was already involved with Iris. It's not really my fault in that case.
Date, I looked into the investigation report. Mayumi confirmed Ota's body early this morning.
Oh.
I see.
I mean, it's not going to stop us from feeling guilty, even though, like, Ota is his own person and he was an asshole. And if he didn't tase me, this wouldn't have fucking happened. But you need to blame someone, and you're not going to blame your son for being a simp. So I get it. You know. And I'm sure we're going to blame ourselves a little bit.
I'm sorry. I want to be alone right now.
Understandable.
Did you not hear me? I said leave!
Oh.
Date, let's go.
Yeah.
She is in no state to talk.
Oh,
Yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm. Let's peace. Why are we going to my residence? All right. To talk to poor Mizuki. So, Mizuki! So, Mizuki, how you doing? Like, your mom died, and then your dad died, now your friends are dead. I'm just saying. We live in a shady warehouse, and we don't have a bat. This poor kid. Mizuki is curled up on the sofa. I feel so bad for her. She looks like a small animal frightened by a predator. I mean, everyone is out to get her. Entrance. My refrigerator. It's a pot. A kitchen. There's seasonings and cooking equipment lying around. Frying pan. Seasoning and cooking sake. An oven hood. I mean, seriously? Where? That's our closet. Where the fuck is the door to the bathroom? We've looked at this whole apartment. There's no fucking bathroom. Is this like a we have a room and then we share a bathroom with a bunch of other people? Because that's creepy. An iron pipe. Mizuki's favorite metal pipe. Clothes and Mizuki's clothes hanging on the rack. Dressed like a cartoon character. Oh, that's so funny. I like how they actually did call that out the first time you click it and you're like, yeah, we all have to. No, we got other clothes. Where? You don't. But thank you for pointing it out, game. Also, something's missing because like that would be the coat she's wearing. This would be the one we're wearing. Something's dirty, huh? Big window. Bench press. She's like not gonna like it when we're revealed to being the original Cyclops killer, huh? Audio equipment. Oh, we already clicked on speaker. Addo rabbit, stuffed rabbit. I gave it to Mizuki on her birthday. Mizuki's bed. Or maybe we are killing people so we can keep Mizuki all to ourselves. She's my daughter. You will not have her. I mean, like, I'm confused. Who the hell did this chick piss off? Like, there's a 3-seater sofa in the center of the room and a cushion. Okay, we've clicked on everything, and now it's time for this kind of trauma. Look, Mizuki's staring at the floor. About Iris. Deja vu! About Ota. Look at her face. Aww. About the cold storage warehouse.
Mizuki must know about Iris and Ota.
Of course. The news was distributed heavily across the internet.
Plus it was live streamed, so she saw this happen.
Not just in Japan, but worldwide.
Is she gonna blame us too? Because I don't think I can handle that.
3 days ago, Mizuki discovered her mother's body. 2 days ago, her father's. This morning, 2 of her best friends.
Kind of her only friends.
It is completely understandable that she is at her mental limit.
I think if you found your mother's body, that would have been your mental limit. And then you find your father's body, and that's like beyond. And like, this is just like... How she's not completely catatonic. We thought it was bad. Like, we had to go into her somnium and like bring her around from her like catatonic like state from her finding her mother. Like, now this girl's like, I live in a fucking train wreck.
Can I be left alone for a while?
Are you okay?
If you need me, call.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like how she said that. It was so like, yeah. Yeah. I'm totally fine. Yeah, wait. Ready?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That's totally a no, but okay. She certainly didn't seem so, yeah. But I can't stand by her side forever. I can't stay by her side.
Iba, contact Abyss. See if they can get Mizuki a good counselor.
Understood.
I stayed with her for a little while, but we didn't speak. Having nothing more to say, I left. Can I be alone for a while? Let me just sit here. So you just pat her on the head and you're like, I'll let you be alone, but if you need me... If you should ever need us, just call. It's like the end of the labyrinth.
Hi, I wasn't patting the couch because I wanted to pet you. As a kid, I do want to pet you. I always want to pet you.
I was like patting the couch and the bird walked over like, what?
I want to pet you. I give you head pats, but you don't let me. You bite me instead, you mean. I'm trying to comfort you and give you love and affection, and you won't let me love you. Why you not let me love you? Why you not let me love you?
Give a shit. Oh, good. We get to do this again. 3rd time's the charm. When I visited the Sagan household, I found Hitomi with a hollow look in her eyes. She let me in and asked me to sit on the sofa. I agreed and sat down. But after that, I couldn't say a single word. A heavy silence weighed on both of us. Sofa, the dining table, the microwave, the refrigerator, kitchen counter. There's a door in the back of the room, a cupboard, bookshelf. Oh, God. And you know what? He's not going to say creepy things about the shoe things. Standing lamp, Bookshelf. Wooden shelf. Mysterious object. You know what? Actually, I just thought of. It's gonna ruin my life. But, like, our first Somnium was in this house, right? And we saw somebody on the floor. We saw a dead lady on the floor. We saw Hitomi on the floor, right? And we saw number 89, like, standing kind of over her body. And
In the language of flowers,
Oh,
the
whoops.
iris means good news and hope. When I saw the flowers this morning, I just knew something good would happen.
good for us, because I hated you, but I should feel so bad about this now. In this path, she wasn't as bad, because she didn't do her, like, sexual harassing bullshit. She was just, like, annoying. So, I feel like I'm glad we got the iris route out of the way. In a way, but I'm also, it's like if we had done this one first, I think I'd have felt worse about her and Ota dying. Because it would have been like, oh no, well, she was irritating, but like, oh, you know, I wouldn't have that, just that unbridled hate for her where, okay, I don't care. You know? I feel worse for Mizuki that her friends died than I do for Iris dying. And I kind of feel bad for Hitomi that her daughter died. And I guess I feel bad for Iris that she got sawed in half. That had to be painful, but I don't miss her, you know?
Iris.
Window. But anyway, so I was literally just thinking, I'm not going to click on that yet, because I know that's probably I'm going to click on everything else while we're kind of going through the steam is rising from the tea, workbooks, low table. Can we click on the carpet? No, there's probably stuff over here. Plant. Shelves. Speaker system where he doesn't think pervy things. I still think we're the original Cyclops killer, but I kind of also feel like if the game's gonna try to give me that bullshit that number 89 really is the Cyclops killer, you know what I mean? I just feel like that's not gonna be as amazing as it could have been if it was us. But, like, I feel like if the game goes down that route, no, he totally wasn't. Everything Pewter told us was 100% true. The reason why we would have had that Somnium, right, in the very beginning, where then we go in that door and then we see him and Hitomi's on the floor, right? Unless it was her. Oh, and then he was trying to stop her. Like, it would have been like, oh, we started working for Abyss and then we went in and tried to, like, arrest him, and then that's when we lost our memory, and that's why we were in that Somnium, right? That was, like, a piece of, that's where we lost our memory, and that's the last thing that happened before, you know, whatever. Which would also explain, well, I mean, why would he cut out our eye, though? I don't know, but anyway. But, if, you know what I mean? And that would fit, like, oh, okay, that makes sense why that was the first Somnium, it was here. And why we saw Hitomi on the floor, and then we saw number 89, and, like, that kind of fit those pieces. But at the same time, I still feel like that's stupid. I just don't like that, because it's not as... It's like, oh, yeah, I mean, sure, that makes sense, but it's such a letdown compared to we're the Cyclops killer. And that would also explain, again, every time they're like, oh, did they up your meds? What? Nothing? Like, Ibis said that to us like twice now, right? She said it at least twice that I can think of. Multiple times she's brought that up and we're like, huh? Like, we don't know. And he's such a fucking horny pervert that he looks at the speakers and is like, mind anything? Like, which, if you think about it, goes back to what Pewter said in the last part. Like, oh, like, yeah. Doesn't have the normal, like, system in your brain to release endorphins and make you happy like people would feel like being in love and stuff like that. It was always just psycho killer. But if you're giving me meds and you've done some kind of weird brain shit on me, well, that's why he's a horny pervert, because you didn't have those, like, right? We didn't have those. We were just a psycho killer. And then now you've given out like you're like overdosing us on this shit so that to keep us in check in a way, and it's just making us a horny pervert, right? I'm just saying. It fits so perfectly. And it is so beautiful if that is the true thing, because you're like, that, it's just, wow. I see that, like, the little pieces here and there that kind of just start to fall, and you're like, and I will just be so thrilled. And if they don't do that, it's like, I wrote a better game than you did, people who wrote this game, because that's amazing. What I said is amazing. And, like, I can't believe that I just made that all up, and it's not the game's trying to lead you to that ending. You know what I mean? Like, I can see if you didn't see it coming, but I ruin everything. Like, there are times I don't see things coming, but there are so many times you pick up a bot, like at Christmas, I used to, oh, it's this. I ruin things. So, like, I wouldn't be surprised if I ruined the big reveal of this game for myself by figuring it out way too far in advance. You know what I mean? I mean, the pieces are all there. There's other things that I'm like, I don't know, or I miss, but, you know. And I guess then us being in the Somnium would have been like, maybe we were coming after number 89, or maybe we were coming after Hitomi for some reason. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, why? And we didn't know Renju. Did we know him before the past 6 years? Like, everything we know is from the past 6 years. We know nothing of what happened before. So it's not like Renju's like, oh yeah, we were buds before, right? Unless he knew our secret. Unless he knew. Because he's involved with the Kumakoras, right? And we were involved, obviously, with them if that was... I don't know, there's a lot of pieces still floating around out there, but I'm just saying. Like, the game could go the lame route and be like, no, everything Pewter told us is true, number 89's the killer, and that's why we had that Somnium in the very beginning. It was... You know, so we'd be like, oh, he was the killer and we must have been going after him. That's why that's something that we forgot, but it's somewhere in our head, right? Cop out. Fucking cop out. My version is better, and I'm sticking to it until, like, we're done with the game, and then I'm like, there's a secret ending where we find out we're really the killer, right? Because, like, maybe not the second, maybe not the current one, but we were the original. I'm sticking with that shit. The game, we are literally going to go down every single fucking route of this game before you rip that, like I said, from my cold dead hands. Anyway. Drawing on the wall, I just figured that was going to bring up something. You know what I mean? Hitomi is composed. She's hiding her sorrow deep in her heart. She's gentle but strong. I mean, she's probably also in that trauma state where you're like, I didn't just see my daughter sawed in half corpse, you know? About Ota.
Oda was one of my students. I taught him in elementary school. I heard it from the police. Oda tried to help Iris and ended up...
I know this is supposed to be his, like, sad face, like, you know, eyes downcast and, like, sorrow face, but it literally looks like the, oh, for fuck's sake face. I think they should have just redone the sprite a little. Maybe downcast the eyes, because the eyes look like they're rolling up in his head like, ugh. Every time Iris would talk, that's the face that I had. So it's like, I get what they're going, but, like, I feel bad, because I'm like, Dante, you literally look like you just... are not sympathizing with them, and I know that's what you're supposed to be doing, but it just looks so wrong.
I don't know what to say. I have no words.
About Iris.
Iris was my everything.
Mm.
We always went everywhere together. Whether it was buying clothes, or going to the movies, or taking a walk, or going shopping at the supermarket.
I mean, you literally have nothing now. That's so sad. This poor woman. Neither does Mizuki. Hey, you should adopt Mizuki! Because she should not be with me. I am not a capable guardian, and, like, you need a daughter, and she needs somebody who's not dead in her life. Or, you know, me, half useless. We care, but we're just, I don't think we're capable of taking care of her, is all I'm saying.
When she was young, she would just hold one of my fingers. Her hand was too small to hold mine.
Aw.
Then it was 2, then 3. And finally she could hold my hand. But eventually, she left my hands altogether. She started crossing her arms, being independent. Even though she needed constant attention growing up.
She still needed constant attention until the day she died. I mean, if you think about it. Keep going.
Her memories are a part of this room. And always will be. when she was a baby. She fell off that sofa and cried and cried. One day, she tore up her picture book all over the floor here. Another time, she drew with crayons all over the window. She painted my portrait on Mother's Day. Scratches on the floor, chipped plates, burn marks on the table, stains on the cushions.
I know kids are like little demons and they're messy as shit, but I don't think we ever made this much of a fucking mess in any of our houses. I mean, you spilled things and like, okay, chip plates and stuff, but like burns and the fuck? Seems a little extreme.
Everything you see, it all holds a memory of her.
Why do you not have any things hanging up on these hooks? Do you not cook or anything?
But why?
That's my main concern, right in the background. I know she's being sad, but like, I find it hard. Like, I want to feel really bad for her, and I do. But it's like, I don't like Iris, so I don't, you know what I mean? Like, the game made Iris so fucking unlikable that I feel bad that I feel nothing that she's dead and Ota's dead, and like I feel like, okay, I do feel bad for Hitomi, and she's like being all sad, and Mayumi, I feel bad, I feel worse for Mizuki, okay, because I like her. I don't dislike Hitomi, but you know what I mean? It's like, but I disliked Iris so much that I don't feel as like, oh, as I should. I don't know. I'm not a heartless person. I cry a lot. Overly sensitive, but I guess I just can't be with this. I don't know. I mean, I do feel bad for her that she, you know, is now surrounded in this house with, again, and she's going to have all those memories, like, the tiny little scuff on the floor, I remember. And she's got the whole fucking story. She remembers the whole thing. And, like, every time she takes a plate out, that tiny little chip on the plate. I remember when Iris did every little thing, you know? It's like, would it be better to move? It'd be so hard letting go of all those memories, you know? Can you think of anything?
My entire focus is on this case. Is there anything at all you can tell me?
I don't know if this is important, but
No, please, tell me.
I may have told you this already. I met Renju's wife Shoko twice before. The first time at the wedding. The second time a month ago.
Like, look at Shoko is like, whatever, I'm such a bitch. Shoko looks like a cold-hearted fucking bitch.
That second time was in the waiting room of the prison.
Prison?
There's an acquaintance of mine from when we were younger.
She's gonna talk about number 89, because that's...
I visit them a few times a year. And by coincidence, I saw Shoko.
Was Shoko visiting number 89?
I don't think she noticed me, but I recognized her as Renju's wife right away. She was there for the same reason I was, to visit one of the inmates.
Interesting.
Do you know who?
New.
No, I don't.
Number 89, because he knows who killed her.
We didn't talk.
Which prison?
Fuchu Prison.
Of course.
In Tokyo.
Duh. We knew.
Fuchu.
Prison?
Do you know a guy named number 89? He should ask, what prisoner
I'm sorry
were you
to have
visiting?
bothered you.
I'm sorry to ask this, but who were you visiting?
I'll be going now.
I mean, he can get those records. Aww.
I don't know what to do.
Although,
Thinking about her. Date, please, you have to catch them. Please. Please.
I will. Trust me.
being able to cry and emote is a really fucking hard thing to do. I'm really not feeling how she's doing it. Like, I don't think I could do it. But she's like, I don't know. I just don't feel the emotion as much with the way. I think that's part of it too. Like, I didn't want to say anything, but like, I don't feel like the VA. I don't feel her. Like, she's trying and she's doing it, but I'm not like, oh, like you can feel. Sometimes you can feel it. And it's like, I'm just not believing it. I don't know. Like, the words are there. Like, all the little memories, but at the end, it just, I don't know.
Are you okay, honey?
Like, I feel more emotion coming from Mama. Are you okay?
Huh?
About last night. Well, at 3 a.m, anyway.
You know about it?
It's on every channel. You have the face of a ghost. Do you want a glass?
I don't need a drink. I need information. Do you have anything?
Well, let's see. I do have... I suppose you could call it intuition.
Tell me.
All right. We gotta go poke around every fucking thing. Sometimes I wish there weren't things to click on so that we didn't have to click on everything, but I have to click on fucking everything. I can't not. Oh, whoops. We already clicked on the poster. There's the counter. We have to, because you never know what's going to come up, but... And I just really think at this point, there's not going to be any kind of fun things. That's why I'm not, like, reading. It's like, there's a menu! It's a menu! It's a radio! I mean, we had the last chance for somebody to make fun of Mama. Beer tap. Normally in some of the other ones, we have, like, the lighthearted banter. Okay, we already clicked technically on poster. I guess that's good. So, nothing else? Did we get the stool? We did get the stool. We got the counter. Okay, cool. Boop. Look, Mama's polishing the dried bonito. That's all Mama does! Aside from leave her bar in the hands of
The Kumakuras are involved in this case.
I mean, kinda, yeah.
Remember what I told you before? That there's a relationship between Ren and the Kumakuras?
Which would be why Ren and I were friends, maybe?
Shoko also has a relationship with them.
And they felt it was okay to leave their
You
child.
know about her dealings with the Kumakuras, right?
So basically, 2 of the victims are linked to the Kumakuras.
We kinda are too! Because remember Rohan? We remember him. We don't remember anything before 6 years ago, but we remembered Rohan, remember? Remember? We remembered? But when we met Moma, we're like, no, Rohan's in charge. He's like, that was my brother. He died like 5 years ago. Like, and we're like, wait, huh? And we had that doo-doo, like that weird moment where it's like, oh, flashback moment. We remember him. But we don't remember anything before. Because, he was our partner. He took eyeballs and like, maybe we crossed him and that's why he took our eyeballs? I don't know.
That must mean they're involved somehow, right?
He took our pretty green eyes. Oh, I'm sorry.
Not 2, 3.
Or they decided to make Aiba and take my left eye because I was taking everybody's like right eyes and was like, this is like a little poetic justice after they brainwashed me into being a cop. I'm just saying, there's a lot of different things that could have happened, but
3. Iris?
No, not that one. The boy.
I mean, Iris is kind of involved with them if you want to think that like Moma's fucking in love with her, but
He came here last night?
Ota?
Yes, from Matsushita Diner.
fucking Ota? What the hell is he doing for them?
He's linked to the Kumakuras as well.
Well, that's new. How?
Have you heard the rumor?
I mean, Mama told me a similar story to Aiba's about Sosajima in the Kabasaki district. Oh, right. Sosajima family owned that. They sold all the property right before all the accident happened, and then they bought it all back, so he, came out with, 29 billion? The basic idea is this. 8 years ago, So sold his land in the Kabasaki district for 30 billion yen. Yeah, okay, so we're getting a refresh here. I didn't need to remember any of that. Half a year later, an explosion at the chemical plant caused the land prices to drop drastically. So bought back the land for 1 billion yen. Almost like he knew beforehand that the accident would happen. I mean, it sounds sus as fuck. Did So blow it up or conspire to blow it up? No, that wouldn't make sense. So wouldn't gain anything from that, aside from 29 billion yen. He would end up with 29 billion in cash and 1 billion in land. It's a net zero. There's more to the story. It's not a net zero. You netted 29 billion yen. You know what I mean? Especially if you think at some point the radiation will go away and they'll open it up and now I have all of that property that now I can sell because land's gonna be like, there's a point where like, we don't have enough room for people. Look at all this place that we can open up now that, you know, all the radiation's gone, and people will fucking move in there. They'll be like, it's fine. Yeah, sure, my house is on a landfill. Half of Florida was built on a fucking swamp. People still moving to that shit. Sinkholes left. I mean, people will do it, and you're gonna make billions. So it's not a net zero, really. Anyway, about So in the Kabasaki district.
The Kumakuras own a handful of real estate companies. They, of course, look legit, but they're Yakuza fronts.
I mean, yeah.
I'll call those real estate companies the KE to keep it simple for you. The KE followed in So's footsteps.
Appendix analyst.
They bought up land in Kabasaki.
Okay, keep going.
Now, back to So.
Yep.
Have you heard of the plans for the casino in Kabasaki?
That would net you a lot of motherfucking money.
So was the one who came up with it.
I was born and raised in Kabasaki. I remember the landscape of my childhood, and I loved it dearly. But look at Kabasaki now. When I see images of the destruction on television, my heart aches like it's being chopped to pieces. But I promise you, I will revive the Kabasaki district at any cost.
It only cost me 1 billion yen, and I'm gonna make fucking profits.
Casino Town Kabasaki will give new life to the city.
And then you're only there temporarily, so like it's only a little bit of radiation poisoning you're gonna get. It's fine.
After that, So moved fast. He submitted the bills he needed to the National Assembly after drumming up support in the right places. The bills passed, and it became an official government initiative.
Decontamination efforts therefore increased at a rapid pace in the Kabasaki district. At the moment, the area is still considered off-limits.
But not probably for long.
However, the air in Kabasaki is currently purified to such an extent that it has no negative effect on the human body.
If the plan goes smoothly, land prices in Kabasaki are going to skyrocket.
And guess who has all of it?
And all that land is owned by the KE.
And what's his face?
And by So himself.
Okay.
The land he bought back for 1 billion will be worth 10 times that soon.
He's involved in some shady business.
Keep going.
This is just another rumor, but the chemical plant exploding was no accident. It was done intentionally.
I mean, I would say at this point that seems feasible and it makes sense. What? I mean, it seemed a little sus when he magically sold all their property, made 30 billion yen, all of a sudden there's now I can buy I mean, that just seems shady. That could have been like, well, fuck! Life likes me! That's amazing! But I just, yeah, you know?
By So and the Kumakuras, you mean?
Ota did it.
But there's no hard evidence of that.
Of course not. Yakuza's gonna be able to cover their tracks, right?
It's just gossip.
Okay, Ota and the Kumakuras?
What were we talking about again?
Ota and the Kumakuras.
Oh, right.
Mama's Sprite and Mama are they have the same. That's just
You
weird.
know how Matsushita Diner is close to the Kabasaki district?
Yeah.
The chemical plant explosion made times hard. Foot traffic went down, sales declined. No wonder it closed down. Ota must hold a grudge. Someone caused that explosion. And if it was intentional, he'd hate them even more. That's how I link Ota to the Kumakuras.
But Ota's not... I don't... I was gonna be like, I don't think Ota's smart enough to try anything. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he might make the connection, but then again, Ota could be smart enough. He just acts like a fucking idiot when Tessa's around. So, like, we can't really, can't really judge him too much aside from being a pathetic simp, so.
Thank you, Mama. I don't know if what you told me will lead to anything, but...
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to waste your time.
No, it was very helpful.
I'm glad I can help, even if it's just a little.
If Mama is like the mastermind behind everything, I'd be fucking impressed. I think I might love that and be like, oh, I trusted you! I trusted you so much! I really think Mama is the least suspicious person. Like, Mama, you got some questionable business skills by leaving Ota in charge and disappearing and then thinking I was passed out drunk and, like, not even caring, like, at all. Just leaving me on the floor. Like, questionable. But we still like you.
Well then, be seeing you.
But I still trust you more than I trust anybody else in this game.
Come back anytime.
Aside from Mizuki. To the map, to the map, to the map. We're going back to work. Think like, God, doing this job would be great because you just get to go all over the place. Yeah. And then you'd be like, I'd be so exhausted after going to the first place. I'm like, are we done? Can I go back to work now? Can I just go back and sit at my desk? I'm tired. Anyway, Monday, 4:57 p.m. It's actually Thursday at 5:04 p.m. Thank you very much. But I returned to boss's office to report. Oh, good, we get to poke around all the bullshit in her office. But I didn't see her anywhere.
Where did she go?
Well, she isn't always here, correct?
True.
I sat down in my usual seat and decided to wait for boss.
What are you doing?
I thought it would be easier to talk like this.
What do we have to talk about?
A summary of the investigation, perhaps?
What summary? We don't have anything new.
That's not true.
Huh?
I was curious, so I did some research. About number 89.
Oh, god damn it. I was just hoping we'd just keep going and I wouldn't have to click on everything. Coat hanger, cabinet, poster. Oh, we already did that Christmas tree. It's been here since the first time I was in this room. Plaster figure, stationary bike. It also seems a little weird that her office is like, like a storage closet. You know what I mean? Like, are we sure we actually work for the cops? Can't click on that Soba restaurant curtain. We already did the stationary bike, right? Symbols. It was more fun when we would click on things and funny little things would pop up, and now they don't pop up at all, and it makes me sad. Desk. Oh, wait. Stickers all over the front. We gotta click on the rug. Clock. Battery died. Computer. And this is literally... It's a king shogi piece. You know what? I've never seen the shogi piece. That's interesting, because boss is always sitting here blocking it. That's new. Tanuki, it's a fishing flag. Everything else is basically the same. Soccer ball, a volleyball. There's a broom. I don't think there was anything else. Pumpkin. Oh, the bookshelf. Ton of things stuffed in it. Oh, happy birthday. Whoops, I clicked on that twice. Chair. Clicked on everything over here. Oh, we already clicked on cabinets. Wine. Rip. Bags. Door. Shelves. I know, I'm going all over the place. I saved... Oh, I thought he was going to say something. Boss's friend. Cold air is blowing from the AC. The Matryoshkas. Oh no, not the key. The key. It's a large key. Boss Mania. Is that because I clicked on everything in her fucking thing? It's like you click on everything. I was really hoping it would have been actually nice if there was a achievement for clicking everything, but we're not going to get it, like I said, because that part that I had to record over. Because, like, we missed that little end thing seeing Renju's corpse hanging up. Like, I had to redo that part. So I didn't click on everything. I just clicked through the conversation, did all the kind of dialogue stuff you had to do, but I didn't go through and click on everything, so. In my heart, I clicked on everything. Anyway, Iba. Look. Iba's sitting on the desk. To be precise, the image of Iba sitting on the desk is being sent to my brain. Looks like Iba's sitting on the desk. Okay, who is...
As you know,
number
he is an
89?
assassin with multiple confirmed kills. He is currently serving a sentence at Fuchu Prison. He was imprisoned 6 years ago.
That's what Pewter told us.
Yes, but Pewter told us he was the Cyclops killer. I don't believe that.
After his fourth murder, he was arrested by the police.
Doesn't mean he's not a killer. But in the other ones, didn't they make it sound like he was like a contract killer? You know, like a hitman? Not like an psycho murderer? What's his real name?
Unknown.
You don't know?
We could go ask, what's her, Hitomi?
No such person is listed in the family registry. It is possible he is a foreigner, but his nationality is unknown. However, I believe it is safe to say that he was born and raised in Japan.
What's the relationship between 89 and Shoko? Do we know there is one?
Unknown. I cannot determine if they have any connection.
We don't know that he's who she was seeing. They're making that implication, though.
Approximately 1 month ago, Hitomi Sagan witnessed Shoko in Fuchu Prison's waiting room. I am unable to say for certain that the person she was there to visit was number 89.
That's what I'm like. We don't know that she was there to see him.
After all, Fuchu Prison houses 2,000 inmates.
Let's get the logs and find out.
But number 89 knew Shoko's name.
I know who killed Shoko Nadami.
I know who killed Shoko.
That must mean that he knew her somehow.
It is possible.
About 89 and the new Cyclops serial killings.
Pewter claims that there were 2 culprits behind the original serial killings.
I mean, I'll follow that. Sure, maybe. I don't know.
One was the former chairman of the Kumakuras, Rohan Kumakura.
Who would explain how we knew him and remembered him.
But
We didn't
Rohan
remember anything
committed
else.
suicide last year.
That leaves 1 culprit still alive, number 89.
But number 89 couldn't possibly have committed these crimes. He was in jail when each of the murders occurred.
Correct. However, I do not believe it is accurate to claim that he had nothing to do with the incident.
Huh.
I know who killed Shoko Nadami.
If he was telling the truth, his involvement is possible.
Are we gonna go visit him? Are we gonna have him brought here? Let's talk to number 89.
Let's talk to number 89.
I don't know if he's telling the truth or if he's full of it, but he's our last remaining loose end.
All right. However, we need not go to him. We can bring him to us.
And then Pewter's gonna let him escape!
If we plan on syncing with him, it would be more efficient.
That's gonna be one of our syncs.
Can you arrange that?
We're gonna fuck this up.
I can.
I hope we don't have to do that in this part, because we're not going to. Oh, fuck. We only have 15 minutes. I'm not gonna be able to do it. After cutting through some red tape, number 89 was to be brought to HQ. He took considerable time to arrive. For some reason, Boss never showed up. Huh. Where is she? You know what? She also wasn't around when in the first path we did, when we had number 89 brought in, but in that it was like, I want to interrogate number 89, and then Pewter made sure Boss was out of the way. But in this, we showed up to talk to her, she wasn't there, we're like, let's get 89 in here, she's still not here. So it's not like the same situation where like Pewter got her out of the way, you know, whatever. Monday, 8:56 p.m. I feel like deja vu right now. Is this the same scene? Like, I think it's the same scene. I'm sure conversation points are going to be different, but this part I feel like is just reused because I feel like it's exactly the same, the walking in. It's weird how nobody notices our eye is like... See? We're remembering some shit. Like,
sorry to interrupt your busy day, but I need you to tell me something. I'd appreciate your cooperation.
like he gets that like doon 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 doon, like when there's something there. Okay, let's click on everything. Desk, pipes, mirror, surveillance camera. Wait, okay, it's blinking. This one's also blinking. We can't go anywhere this way? Oh, interesting. We can't go see Pewter, huh? Standing back there. Being sus as fuck. Alright, well. Alrighty. Look at him. 89 is sitting in front of me. What's your name?
Number 89.
Your real name?
I don't remember.
He doesn't remember either. Is that because you just like, so I was born John Smith, but after a while I just used so many fake names I don't even remember who I really was anymore type of a thing? Or like they erased your memory so you can't be like, I didn't kill anybody! So they could pin the crime on you and then use me so that like if anybody ever uncovered it, they'd be like, oh, number 89's the guy who did the Cyclops killings, as opposed to like, wait a minute, it was the guy in the police force and you're using a murderer? Wait, what? I'm just saying, because there has got to be some like fucking civil rights thing. Like, there got to be something that is against like using a prisoner, brainwashing me, and like putting a fake eyeball and like the shit that they did to me could not have been like, I didn't voluntarily sign up for it, is all I'm saying. Like, there could be like a lawsuit happening here. Where are you from? What's your
Burkina
name?
Faso.
Burkina Faso is a republic in West Africa. Population 17 million.
I'm glad she told me because I wouldn't have known.
I don't have time for your jokes.
Oh, do you know Shoko Nadami?
Yeah, I guess I do.
About a month ago, Shoko visited Fuchu prison.
Yeah, I guess I do.
Was she there to see you?
That's right.
Oh.
What did you talk about?
Nothing special.
You're in no position to lie.
I'm not lying.
We're gonna go into his Somnium and find out. I'm gonna go in your brain and find out, bitch!
She didn't come to hear me talk.
Then why did she come?
To meet me.
Meet you?
She probably just wanted to see me.
Why? When did you first meet Shoko?
A long time ago.
I don't want to ask about the Cyclops killing thing because he's gonna be like, no. Or he's gonna be like, yeah, I guess I did. That's what they tell me. Like, I don't want that reveal.
I don't remember exactly when.
What's your relationship to her?
A physical one.
Oh.
I'm kidding. She was just a business partner.
I was like, wow, I thought you were in love with Hitomi. Does he know about Iris? Because, like, he was basically like her stepdad. And you get the impression, like, she always called him uncle, whatever, from her. And I don't know how that relationship went, but you kind of get, from him, you get this, like, yeah, I'm like, I'm a bad dude, whatever, I'm a bad guy, yeah. Like, he's a terrible, murderous human being. That's what they're setting us up for. But, like, Hitomi was in love with him. Yeah, I knew he did some bad things, but he always took care of Iris, and Hitomi and Iris had such a good impression of him. You know what I mean? So it really seems so much more suspicious that he'd be the original Cyclops killer. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that you can't lead a double life, but if he's a murderous psychopath who has no capacity to love, why was he in a relationship with Hitomi? I don't think that he would have been... I mean, I just thought of that now. Like, it just went click. Hi. That seems like bullshit, Pewter. Wait a minute. You tried to bamboozle me. You were trying to pull my theory out of my cold dead hands, you bitch. Like, get out of here, Pewter. Because he was in love with Hitomi. And yes, you could be like, oh, a murderous psychopath who could pretend. But really, if you have no shred of any kind of empathy, human compassion, and the only way you get that endorphin high is stabbing people, Really think you're gonna be able to bamboozle Hitomi and fucking Iris? I mean, maybe Iris because she was a stupid kid. She was a stupid adult, but like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it almost sounds, I mean, yes, them saying he's the original killer and then like Iris having witnessed it all kind of fits together. Like, well, that would explain why Iris had these memories of the original Cyclops killing, right? Because number 89 did it and she was always with him, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, that could fit. Because otherwise, I don't know how to explain, like, how does she know about them? How does she have that, you know, whatever. I don't want that to be like, oh, well, yeah, that's a good reason. But no, I'm still keeping my theory. Clinging to it desperately. Nails digging into my palms. I won't let it go, bitch. You know? But if he was in love with Hitomi, or even if he was faking it, I don't think that the horrible, cold, murderous person that Pewter was describing would have even been capable of pretending. Yeah, they give us 89 like this. Oh, he's like, oh, whatever. Yeah, I guess I knew Shogo. I'm not telling you anything. Like, his gruff, hardened, like, killer, like, personality that they're giving us is supposed to make you be like, oh, yeah, it was totally a him. But I just don't believe it. And if he doesn't remember, like, his name, it makes me wonder, did you kind of do something to him? Or we were coming after him, something happened, and that's why he doesn't remember. He's like, I don't remember, I have amnesia shit. Or they were like, let's wipe his memory, we'll put him in prison and say that he did this shit, because I'm sure, like, he told me he already did bad things. She was like, oh, he'd done some bad things. So we already know that he probably already was a criminal. It's not like he was just some good upstanding dude, right? But so they were like, well, he's already going to go to jail for all this other shit he did, but we'll just be like, he was the Cyclops killer and cover it up, and then we'll use the real Cyclops killer and, like, do this weird experimentation on me. I mean, like, I feel bad for this guy, but, I mean, again, he wasn't an upstanding citizen. He was a criminal. But I think that they are trying to cover up that we're the killer by being like, oh, yeah, no, it's him. Right? We think it's him anyway. We're not 100% sure, but, like... So I'm curious how this is going to go.
That's right. I was one of the culprits behind the case 6 years ago.
He answers that way too easily, you know? Yeah, that's right.
One of the two Cyclops killers.
Yeah, I don't believe it. You know what I mean? He's like, yeah, that's right. I don't believe it! Like, game, you're like, I really do feel like the game's trying to bamboozle you at this point, where you're like, oh my god, we're putting the pieces together, and then when it comes out that, like, he is wrong, or he was, like, brainwashed into thinking he was, so that he'd admit to it, whatever, you're like, oh, what? So, again, if this is the way it goes, and this is the actual truth, that he is the real I don't believe it. I will be so disappointed in this game. My theory is so much better. It's so much... I don't have answers for everything. Like, why did Iris remember these things like she witnessed it? You know what I mean? But...
All right. Let's get right down to it. 2 days ago, you called Investigation HQ and said, I know who killed Shoko Nadami.
All right.
That's right.
So who was it?
Who?
Hey, don't be so hasty. We haven't agreed on a deal. You're gonna let me out of prison, right?
It's done. You've got a deal.
I was like, Dante, you shut up.
All right.
All right.
But to explain it properly, I need to tell you a story. It might take some time. Is that all right with you?
We got like 6 minutes.
I've got nothing but time.
That's Dante. We do. All right, fine. You know what?
Then let's get started.
Sweetie, you just do you, okay?
The story of a lonely assassin. Once upon a time, there was a detective, full of righteous justice. Let's call him F. F found the evils of the world intolerable. F had no parents, no siblings, and grew up in an orphanage since he was born.
Are we F or is he F? For realsies. That's what I want to know. You know what I mean? Because, like, the story he's telling... Again, I think everything is planted in his brain. I don't think any of this is true. Well, if it's true, it's not his truth. You know what I'm saying? if everything he spits out is this is 100% the truth, that wasn't your story, that's Date's story. Because remember, Date doesn't even know his own fucking name. This guy doesn't remember his. I'm just saying it fucking fits. So.
He suffered every kind of abuse imaginable there.
So.
It led him to despise all the evils of the world. One day, F was chasing a thug down at the harbor.
Or you were a real cop. It could be pieces. It could be he was a real cop, but we were a murderer, but then they put the... I mean, I don't know how this is going to go, but
Someone wanted for the assault and murder of women.
Okay, I get it. I'll just throw down my knife.
Someone else, yeah. Okay. So this could very well have been true, his truth, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what the balance is. Is it all 100% his truth? Except for the whole Cyclops serial killer thing? Is it really our truth that they planted in his head? Is it part of his story, part of our... You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But...
It's fine. I got nothing else on me.
Yeah, I believe that.
I'll go quietly.
I don't believe that either.
You know, I have a history with hospitals. I've been going to a special hospital for a while. Even if I get caught, it's all good. I'll come right back out again. What should I do next time? Just thinking about it gets me excited.
Oops. I saw that coming because I can't blame him for doing it because a part of me was like, I was like, you're going to just shoot him, right? Because that's what I would do.
Unarmed. But F never served a day in prison. The case went to trial for some time, but it was determined to be self-defense, and he was declared innocent. If the truth got out, it would be a huge scandal for the police.
This almost sounds like this might actually be his real story.
People at the upper level were terrified of what might happen, so they had evidence fabricated. F wasn't suspended or disciplined at all. After a while, he returned to his job like nothing happened.
Huh.
That was a turning point for him. He was ready to shed the morality that was weighing him down, holding him back. F still wanted justice, and he was willing to dispense it to the immoral one by one.
I mean, or, yeah, because boss is like, we've been working together a long time, so if this is our truth, it was like we did it, like we just snapped. Like we started out being Batman, and then we turned into the fucking Joker. Like, you know what I mean? Okay.
He became an assassin. A lone gunman. No agent, no employer.
This, though, I believe with the whole, like, an assassin, that number 89 was actually... Because that's the story they kind of gave us originally. Oh, he was an assassin. He murdered people. Okay, I would believe that that's his story. And I would almost believe, like, okay, you were a cop, and then you realize, like, I can just kill people, and it's way better. I'm just going to kill shady people. And you become an assassin. But it's weird because I don't see where... Oh, yeah! That what Pewter said about the Cyclops killer, right? Being like, no empathy, nothing. You had to have had it at some point to want to be a cop. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't make sense that those two are... That this is all his story. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
He was his own man. F believed that he was judge, jury, and executioner. But it didn't last long. One day, F got rid of a criminal we'll call X. X was responsible for defrauding and killing an innocent old man for his life insurance policy. Turns out, X had connections. Someone wasn't happy that he died. Rohan Kumakura, chairman of the Kumakuras. X was a top executive of the Kumakuras at the time. Rohan ordered his men to find and kidnap F.
So, like, right now, I believe that... I'm thinking, like, if this was all 89's story, 100% believe it. That you're not the original this would be your story. I was a cop, and then I just decided to become an assassin, and then they sent you, Date, the Cyclops killer, after me. That makes sense to me. That would make sense.
I've done some research. I know you've cleaned up at least 18 pieces of scum from this earth. But somehow there hasn't been a single criminal investigation. They're all treated as suicides, accidents, or natural causes.
Because he sounds like, yeah, he would work for the Kumakurs, but he doesn't sound like the person who's going to go psycho killing women to get eyeballs for all. You know what I mean? Those are just two different types of serial killers. Those are just like on opposite ends.
Amazing work. I'm impressed.
You got like the Batman villain over here is like, I'm just going to kill bad people instead of like trying to bring them to justice. I'm just going to fucking kill them because like, fuck this shit. Justice sucks. Okay, that's, I guess you're killing criminals. So like, it's not right, but it's not wrong. It's like morally gray, I guess. You know. And then you got the psycho over here who's like, I just like stabbing bitches and popping eyes out. Like that, they're two different levels of crazy. Okay?
How about you work for us? Of course, you have the right to say no.
So it's just weird that they're trying to make it sound like it's the same person, but I don't know.
But it'll be the last word out of your mouth.
F was trapped. Even if he somehow survived, he would be looking over his shoulder for the rest of his life. He had no choice but to take Rohan's offer. Thus, F's self-employment came to an end.
And this is that warehouse that we saw.
He became a hired gun of the Kumakuras.
In the
Rohan even gave him a code name, Falco.
Right, and that's his name.
Named for the falcon, a bird of prey.
So this would be like, okay, this is his story, but I don't think that he's the same. I can't put those pieces together with like how you went from like killing criminals, killing people that you think are scum, like you defrauded an old man, you did this, you're a rapist, you're a pedophile, you're all this shit, to I just like killing bitches. Like, to being that like absolutely having no human empathy whatsoever. You obviously had some if you're like, these people are bad, and you had some kind of trigger for right and wrong, so like they can't be the same person. This just doesn't make any sense. And maybe all of this was...
Falco didn't quit his job as a police officer, though.
So maybe number 89... Maybe all of this is his true backstory, and then the whole Cyclops killing thing is just they're going to put that on and be like, yeah, that makes sense, just tagging it, even though it doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? But like no one's going to look too deep into it.
He worked as a detective by day, assassin by night, at the will of the organization.
I mean, you could also say it's Date's story because that's how because he remembers Rohan. And then it's like, but we wiped your memory and now you're just back to being the good cop that you used to be? I don't know. I don't really like that as much as they're just fucking with criminal. They just, like, I'm just a psychopath that they brainwashed me. That just seems way better. I don't know.
An ordinary killer would need motive to take a life. But not Falco. He did as he was told, one target after another.
An ordinary killer would need a motive to take a life? Your motive is scumbags.
It didn't take long to destroy his heart completely.
But see? You're implying he had a heart, and that's not what Pewter
Time
led us
passed,
to believe.
and a few years back,
We're going to go a little over. We're already over, but...
Falco, who by this time was exhausted in body and spirit, made a fatal mistake. He missed his mark and ended up taking a bullet to the stomach. Somehow he managed to escape. After reaching a nearby shrine, his legs finally gave out under him. He had no strength left. He put his back up against the shrine and let out a moaning breath that he thought might be his last.
And this is when Hitomi finds him.
But at that moment...
See, this sounds exactly like it's his story.
In his darkening vision, he saw a woman approach him.
This sounds legit like it's his story. You know what I mean? But again, how do you pair this up to the serial killer that's like a complete and utter psychopath that is the Cyclops killer? You don't. They're not the same. They cannot possibly be the same person.
He watched her take out her phone and dial for help. At the same time, he heard footsteps. Footsteps of at least 2 people closing in. He knew immediately that they were after him. He sprung into action, grabbing the woman and pulling her close, kissing her to keep her from talking. That was the first encounter between Falco and the woman.
Unless they made us switch oh my god, is this like Face Off? They switched our brains? Oh my god. Because it's like...
She was a teacher at some school.
Because, like, we know that, okay, this fits with his story. That we know from Hitomi and, like, whatever, and, like, all that stuff. So that fits perfectly. But it, like, if it was, say, if this was our story that he's remembering, Hitomi would have recognized us. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, I don't know.
It was like she was from a totally different world than him. Listening to her talk, he would forget everything about his line of work.
And again, this actually sounds like he actually gives a shit about people by, I want to get rid of all the injustice. Maybe you don't care about people so much as the injustices you felt were done to you your entire life, but that's fine. You still have some kind of, there's still something underlying in that that's like not as psychopath as the psychopath the Cyclops killer was meant to be. You know what I mean?
She was his only contact with the ordinary, mundane world. They met in secret a few more times, and Falco felt his heart grow warmer.
Which was something they said was impossible.
Her smile and kindness were like a cold glass of water for Falco's parched heart. Falco started to become himself again. His former self.
Which, again, the way Pewter painted it would have been physically impossible for the psycho.
He swore on his life that from then on, he would live for her.
And then Rohan sends psychopath me after you.
So, you want to go clean? Fine. Do as you please. You've done a lot for us. But there is one last thing. One final job I want you to do for me. It's nothing major. This woman and her daughter. I need you to dispose of them. Should be simple, no?
I'm gonna guess it's us. I mean, the woman and daughter, you know what I mean?
Rohan handed Falco a picture of a woman and a girl.
Shoko?
It was the teacher Falco met at the shrine.
That's what I first originally thought, and then I'm like, well, maybe it's not.
And her daughter. She had just turned 12. Why the 2 of them? Rohan, as usual, never gave a reason. And Falco had no intention of carrying out the kill. But if he didn't, he knew that someone else would. He thought long and hard.
Notice how he never mentions the killing so he could cut out eyes?
How was he going to keep them safe and get out of the life of crime? He couldn't find an answer, no matter how hard he thought.
Shoot Rohan.
He was backed into a corner. So, he decided to call on an old friend for help. And then...
Us? Silence. This is the perfect place to end it! I was like, and I was thinking, this would be a good place to cut it off and cock block you. But it actually is the perfect place to stop it. So I'm going to stop here because we're over time anyway and we can't really keep going. I'm cock blocking myself too because I don't have time to record the next part right now. So I'm not going to know either. I have to wait. So, but wow. Again, I really don't think he's the Cyclops killer. I kind of feel like everything he's telling us could absolutely be his story. And I feel like if the game was like, no, it's really Date's story that he's remembering. Again, I would feel like, no game about that too. Because this fits, because Hitomi, why did Hitomi not remember us then? Why did Iris not remember us then? You know what I mean? Like, It seems like Falco number 89, like all of this could be true for his actual life. Hi, could you stop? This is his whole life. This is everything that he remembers. Because notice nothing in his story points to him being this sick psychopath that like Pewter made the Cyclops killer out to be, which is why it doesn't seem like it's actually him. And it would be like Falco's like, "Hey, this is my story," and he's like, "And the eyeball thing?" He's like, "Wait, what? No, I didn't. Huh?" You know what I mean? They're just like, "Oh, he killed all these people," and he's like, "Yeah, I killed a bunch of people for it, but I just." You notice how he never said, "Yeah." He's never put in, "Here's the Cyclops killings," and how that fits into all of the things he did for them. I'm just saying, like, it's sus as fuck. So, anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.